Joining us on set, our international affairs editor. What was notable about what Antonio Guterres just said?
Well, I think what was really notable was how strong the words were that he used in direction of Israel. He, of course, started this by saying he unequivocally repeated his condemnation of Hamas's attack on Israel and the people and the civilians, the innocent civilians who were killed. But he said that while nothing can justify what Hamas did, it did not happen in a vacuum. Those were his words. He talked about 56 years of suffocating occupation of the Palestinian territories, saying that while nothing justified the terrorist attacks of Hamas, this was the context in which they happened, and that the attacks by Hamas also did not justify Israel's attack on innocent civilians in Gaza. And that's where he said, even in war, there are rules. And he said that he was very alarmed by the relentless bombings and strikes of Israeli forces on the Gaza Strip. And he also criticized Israel in a sort of really dismissive tone. And when he said that protecting civilians is good, but when you are telling 1 million civilians to go to the south of Gaza and then you keep bombing that area, that is not protecting civilians. So he was very angry, it seemed, and trying to really get this point across that Israel is a democracy, Israel is a government, while Hamas is not, and that Israel should follow certain rules of war. There was the other aspect where he pleaded for more humanitarian aid. He said that he was very happy with the little humanitarian aid that made it through, but he said it was a drop of aid in an ocean of need, really focusing and repeating the fact that this cannot be all that there is in terms of humanitarian aid. And of course, the question of fuel is really something that he brought up, because right now that humanitarian aid does not include fuel. And we know that fuel is extremely important. He repeated it, talking about, of course, the generators, for example, for hospitals that need fuel in order to operate and in order to keep those hospitals going and helping and treating those civilians who have been attacked.
I've read, civilians that are being attacked, but also even just patients of other things. I mean, life kind of keeps going, right?
Exactly.
People have kidney failure, they have heart attacks, they have babies, and I've read reports of operations being done with the flashlight of cell phones because of that lack of fuel. There was another aspect that I found interesting. It is his kind of repeating this call for a two-state solution in the last few days. Today, Emmanuel Macron is in Israel, and he also hammered home this message. It's something that was, kind of decided on officially decades ago, but it seems to have really gotten nowhere. And clearly, in the international community, it's a call that's being repeated in this time of hostilities.
Yes, because every time there is a flare-up, whether it's a small flare-up in violence between Israel and Hamas or elsewhere, or if it's a huge conflict and a war like we're seeing right now, there is this idea that, yes, you might stop these hostilities at some point, it's going to end, but there will not be peace until there is that two-state solution and until there is a long-lasting solution to what is going on. Otherwise, and this is what Guterres said, this is what Emmanuel Macron has said, which is that you can try to deal with the current conflict, but you're going to see it down the road in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, and it will keep happening until there is a sort of longer-term look at how to get out of this. And this is partly what Guterres was referring to when he said 56 years of suffocating occupation, that until there is a solution to that, until the people in Gaza, in the West Bank, feel that they are not in a suffocating occupation, that this is bound to happen again. And it's also, in a way, a sort of cry of not being able to do anything about it, because
And feeling powerless.
And this is the Secretary General of the United Nations, and it's sort of a call out there for a solution that he knows very well that the UN right now cannot do anything about and has not been able to do in the past decades.
The UN, who is 78 today.
And still trying to work
78 years
out
old.
exactly
What role, how to play on the ground in this conflict and in others. Thank you so much, Kete van Gorgestani, with that analysis.